Tim, how you doing, buddy? Listen, I am videoed out. As you may have seen, I've uploaded a lot of videos here, but I do want to support you, and I do want to support your channel. And your contest gives me a good excuse to do something that I've kind of been wanting to do for a little while. And it's kind of on a serious note a little bit. Not a lot of goofy stuff, not a lot of funny stuff. I'm just going to be honest and real here, and I think it's something that needs to be said. I will go later on with the funny stuff, but the first one is that I want to do a shout out to my Christian friends on YouTube. Hold on, guys. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. I am a stone cold atheist. I see no evidence whatsoever that there's a higher power doing all this mumbo jumbo and crap. And yes, I used to be a Christian of sorts. I read the whole Bible. I can discuss a lot of parts of it with you. And the more I've read the Bible, the more I've realized how it contradicts itself. And really, there's no feasible way that one cognitive entity created this book. That's just not happening. And if that God exists and it's the God that's described in the Bible, I intentionally do not want to worship him because I think he's the biggest prick on the planet. But with that being said, it's only recently in the past year or two that I've come to the grips with the realization that people are raised differently with different morals, different ethics, different places, depending on where you're born on this planet Earth. Depends on what you believe and who you believe in and what your system is. And I'm no longer going to ridicule those people for believing and thinking that way because I come to realize that that's just who they are. And if you're going to accept people, you accept them for who they are. Are they a good person? Are they funny? Did they treat you nice? I mean, then why does that matter? It doesn't. You know, if a man wants to love another man, what does that matter to you? If that guy wants to go to a church or to a synagogue or to a mosque on his days off, what does that have to do with you? Just because you don't believe or act the same way that other person doesn't mean you can't be friends and get together closely and love each other. And I'm talking about Dolph Van Dale, talking about Ron Haggerty, talking about Jeff McCormack. I can keep going on. I have a lot of good friends who in the VC that have really helped me through all of this. And the reason that this has to do with the video, you're like, well, move it along, Steve. What the hell's this got to do with this? Because I'm going to show you my theme are 5 artists that I intentionally locked out of my life and did not discover and have anything to do with or want anything to do with until I opened my mind up and my Christian brothers here in the VC said, hey man, Christian or not, these are some good artists. You should check them out. These records are given to me by those mentioned above. Also, Tim Line, he's on that list. And amazingly, one of these Christian records I'm going to show you was given to me by Red at Redco Music. So these are all people I have discovered and albums I've discovered from 5 different artists and a bonus artist here in the VC. It's going to be a zip through record video. I'm going to show you the state of my collection when it comes to these artists and Christian music. So, funny? No! It's more of a record showy video. But, you know, they don't all have to be high edited, you know? Every now and then I got to, you know, just throw something out there quick, and there's a lot of contests going on. And Tim, if anybody, you'll understand because I've done good ones for you before. And so, first artist up, Petra. I've heard of Petra. I knew they existed, but now, thanks to the VC, I have Petra's Not of This World. I have Petra with Back to the Street. And Petra, something about the system I remember. Yeah, Beat the System. And Petra, Captured in Time and Space. I like Petra. That early 80s AOR rock, synth rock kind of deal. It's good stuff. I mean, there's a lot of bands out there came around the same time that are secular that aren't as good as they are. They're pretty good for the genre of music they're in. I love them and I enjoy them. Couple times here and there, it gets a little on the preachy side, but again, I consider who it's coming from, and I totally accept it because he's just telling me about his experiences in his life. So, you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm not going to shut out good music just because I don't agree or have the same message that they have, you know? So, next up, Jeff McCormack, Mega Jeff McRockmack. He smothered me in the Res Band. Well, it's actually at the time they were called the Resurrection Band. If you like 70s rock, hard rock, sort of sometimes prog rock. This is a very good representation of it, especially the Rainbow's End. Great record. We got Colors from the Resurrection Band, DMZ, and Mama Don't Love Daddy No More. Res Band is great. If you haven't heard any of their stuff, guys, do a sampling, do a record sampling. Type into Google, top 10 best songs by the Resurrection Band. And then go through that list and go to YouTube and listen to those 10 songs. And then come back and say, yeah, they're a great rock band. And they're not overly preachy in any way, shape, or form. Matter of fact, if I didn't know they were a Christian band, there's quite a few songs on there I would have no clue. And so I'd highly recommend you guys check out the Res Band. Next up is the guys that everybody knows about. That's probably going to be on the list, and you expected it. And that's the good old boys of Striper. Mega Jeff McRockmack also provided me with kind of a grail. He gave me the Circle Edition and the blue disc of the Yellow and Black Attack because it does have some issues, but they're not issues that Value Vinyl can't handle and deal with. I definitely can. And so there is Striper's Yellow and Black Attack. I'm not going to talk too much about these guys because I'm sure you all know them. Got Reason for the Season. Got Reach Out. And Together as One. These are all singles. So, got 3 Striper singles. Cool, right? So, that's my Striper. Next up is Dolph Van Dale. Let me in on a guy named Russ Taff. He actually has for me a signed poster, a signed DVD, and he's also provided me with a lot of really good information. I found this Russ Taff on my own, doing record digging, but I also have of him from Dolph Van Dale, Walls of Glass, good stuff. And then when he was with the Imperials, an older one from the 70s. These other ones are kind of late 70s, early 80s on the other one. And I'm telling you guys, if you like a person who, when their voice, you can hear the crying, the soul, the emotion, the passion, no matter what the man's singing, you can feel it. The guy is good, and he is talented. And I don't care if he was, an alien from another planet who liked to eat hamsters. By the way, see, I love hamsters. So if an alien were to eat one in front of me, I would be really offended and really ticked off because hamsters are awesome. But you know what? That alien eating hamster's got an awesome voice, and he's really talented. And I definitely recommend you guys check out Russ Taff. I've done a lot more on him. There's way more to say on him, but the struggles he's gone through in his life, worth checking out. Then, in the same line, if you're talking about guys that can sing, how about guys that can play guitar? Phil Keaggy, man. I got this one here, which is Town to Town. And then this really awesome record he got me from the Private Collection Volume 1. You can definitely tell that he was like in his basement. And they even show pictures like studio. He had his keyboard. He had his 4-track setup. He had his guitar. And he just kind of like recorded stuff all on his own. And yeah, some of the drum beats and the loops in the back are kind of really digital. But man, great to see a musician and his progress of his mind of doing things all on his own without anybody influencing him. But Phil Keaggy, a great guitarist. If you know anything about rock at all and guitars at all, you should know him and respect him. Phil Keaggy's awesome, man. So, that's my 5. And then my last one, the bonus one, Sacrament. Because I needed some metal. I'll tell you, this is the heaviest, most brutal record I've got in my collection. And it's a Christian record. So, hey, I'm all for that. I've listened to this a couple times now. Thank you, Jeff. He also got me this one. Heavy stuff. Sacrament. So, that is my blow through of my theme. My theme was records given to me by the VC of 5 Christian artists that I did not know before, that I completely shut out of my life, that I now have a liking for and actually appreciate and love their records and will listen to them regularly. Because even though I'm a evil heathen, heathen atheist, atheism, I don't know. But I'm one of those guys. Cool to go. Next up is the second part, which you want to talk about lyrics to the songs. All right, so Tim, second part, you're talking about some lyrics. Well, not too long ago, I did a lyrical breakdown of They Might Be Giants' Particle Man. And it completely, I think, drove Robert Z bonkers. And so, anytime I can make that man go kind of kooky crazy and make him go, what the... which I think I did, I'm going to do it again. This time, let's break down the song Birdhouse in Your Soul by They Might Be Giants. Let's go ahead and listen to the first part, and then I will be doing voiceovers, and we'll break it down. What are we talking about in this song?
I'm your only friend, I'm not your only friend, but I'm a little glowing friend, but really I'm not actually your friend, but I am. Blue canary in the alley by the light switch, who watches over you? Make a little birdhouse in your soul.
The song tells the story, in oblique terms, of a nightlight with the appearance of a blue canary, maybe on a plastic housing, a shield, or a glass bulb that has a blue canary on it. And it's from the point of view of the nightlight itself. The summation of its opening statements, I'm your only friend, I'm not your only friend, but I'm a little glowing friend, but really I'm not actually your friend, but I am, reveals to us that while it is not really a friend in the traditional sense of the word, its job as nocturnal protector of its owner, the listener, makes it their only friend while they're sleeping. Because while you're asleep and you're in your room, you're alone with no one else there as your friend but that lone nightlight. It asks the listener to make a birdhouse, which is a safe place for something small and vulnerable, just like your soul.
So the room must listen to me, filibuster vigilantly. My name is Blue Canary, one note spelled L-I-T-E. My story's infinite, like the Longines Symphony, it doesn't rest.
The lyric, my story's infinite, like the Longines Symphony, it doesn't rest, is a reference to many things. And this is why I love They Might Be Giants, because they have so many different interpretations of the lyrics, and there's so many puzzles and ciphers to decode. Here's where I rest. I have three possible choices for this lyric. The first one could be the Longines Symphony Society, which back in the 60s and 70s released numerous albums consisting of recordings of various classical pieces. I do have many of those records. Second one could be the Longines Symphony, which was a watch that was showcased at the 1964 New York World's Fair. In fact, band member John Linnell attended that fair as a child. And so that could be it. Now, the third one could be Longines Symphony actually made and produced a clock radio lamp in the 1960s and 70s, which could be near that canary nightlight, and being grid-powered, not battery-powered, it would not rest also. So you can take that as you want, but those are some options of what that lyric comes to. Let's continue on.
There's a picture opposite me of my primitive ancestry, which stood on rocky shores and kept the beaches shipwreck free. Though I respect that a lot, I'd be fired if that were my job. After killing Jason off and countless screaming Argonauts.
There's a picture opposite me of my primitive ancestry, which stood on rocky shores and kept the beaches shipwreck free. Sounds to me like a lighthouse. Sounds like across the room there's a painting, a picture on the wall of a lighthouse. And that would be a primitive ancestor to the nightlight. And while he looks at that lighthouse of, oh, look at my old ancestor from way back in the day, he still respects him for the job that he has done and accomplished. It's much like us here as, human beings. We look back at, Little Ingalls times and the Little House on the Prairie and like, oh, look at how primitive they were. But yet, they went out and hunted and gathered for food, and they lived through the harsh winters without the heating we had, the refrigeration we have. And you have to respect what they did to make you who you are, because if they didn't survive and tough through those times, you wouldn't exist nowadays here today. The next part talks about, I respect it a lot, I'd get fired if that were my job, after killing Jason off and countless screaming Argonauts. And of course, I know we've all read Ulysses and all the other great epic yarns of yesteryear, and Jason and the Argonauts, of course, they had a large ship that was the Argonauts, and he would definitely say if they came to his rocky coast, he would fail his job as a lighthouse and they would all die. Pretty neat to think about. Let's go ahead to the next part.
Blue bird of friendliness, like guardian angels, it's always near. Blue canary in the alley by the light switch, who watches over you? Make a little birdhouse in your soul, not to put too fine a point on it. Say
as the song fades, the line, while you're at it, keep the nightlight on inside the birdhouse in your soul, it echoes the chorus, essentially telling the listener to keep all those good things that provide light into your soul protected. And it's good advice. We should all do that. Find those things in life that give us the joy and happiness and light, and protect them with everything you got, and get rid of all that negative energy. It's a great message and a great song with a great imagery, and that is Birdhouse in Your Soul off the album Flood by They Might Be Giants. And this has been another episode of Deciphering They Might Be Giants with Value Vinyl and Steve. Hope to see you again soon. Take care.
I'm your only friend, I'm not your only friend, but I'm a little glowing friend, but really I'm not actually your friend, but I am. Blue canary in the alley by the light switch, who watches over you? Make a little birdhouse in your soul, not to put too fine a point on it. Say